Hello, my lovelies. I am Chandra, your friendly neighborhood tarot advisor. Welcome back to my channel and the tutorial video series Tarot Tidings with Tellataletarot. Now, today we stop looking at the world around us and start looking at the world within us. If part 1 was about the fool's awakening to the physical world, the part 2 is where the real work begins. We call this the inner work. Now we are traveling through the cards 8 to 14 from the compassionate mastery of the strength to the radical release of death and finally the balance of temperance. Now these aren't just the cards. Now they are tests that ask you to slow down, to release what no longer serves and to find your center either post or in the middle of a storm. If you're ready to stop living on an autopilot and start understanding the deeper currents of your soul, let us begin. My dear, I like to invite you into a practice that can deepen your experience with these cards. Now, throughout this phase of journey, I will be sharing journal prompts. Yes, journal prompts, your assignment for every card that we encountered. To deepen your connect with each of these cards. There are no right or wrong answers. They are simply invitations for reflections. If a prompt resonates, pause the video, sit with it, write about it, and return to it whenever that card appears in your own readings. Trust you me, there is more value in it than it may sound at this stage. The Fool's Journey was never meant to be a story that lives only on the cards. It is a story that unfolds within us. My hope is that with each of these prompts, they help you transform this journey from something you learn into something that you lived. Yes, you guessed it right. Now, let us begin. The phase 2, the inner work. Now we cross the threshold. The fool has awakened to the outer world. And now begins the phase 2, the inner work. And honestly, this is the phase that most people try to avoid because this is where the life stops asking surface level question. This is where the soul begins demanding honesty. In this stage, we go through cards 8 to cards 14. Let us go deeper. Card 8, the strength. Now here, as you see, the women gently closing the jaws of a lion, in essence, taming the beast. And she is smiling. That details matter because this is not brute force. This is not domination. This is neither violence, but this is compassionate mastery. The lion is not the enemy. The lion is you. Your anger, your fear, your impulses, your grief, your baser instincts. This is not physical strength, my dear. This is the strength that says, I see my anger, I see my fear, I see my wildness, and I can both hold it and channelize it with grace. Now, strength, my dear, is the archetype of compassionate mastery. It is not suppression, it is not brute force, but the quiet, deep power of someone who has learned to befriend their own chaos, their raw and untamed animal instincts. Strength teaches us that healing is not about sabotaging these parts of ourselves. It is about learning how to hold them with grace instead of shame. And honestly, that, my lovely, is the real power. Now, before we move on, the general prompt, as I promised, for this card, my dear, is what emotions, what impulse, or what reaction do I keep trying to suppress? And what would change if I learned to work with it instead of against it? Card 9, the Hermit. Now, after the movement of the chariot and the emotional mastery of the strength calls the fool and us inward. He stands alone upon a mountain holding a lantern. And notice something important. The lantern only lights a few steps ahead, not the entire road. Now, this is intentional because wisdom rarely arrives all at once. The hermit is not lonely, my dear. The hermit is intentional. The card appears when it is time to stop outsourcing your wisdom to everybody out there and reconnect with your own inner self. Now, sometimes clarity not only arrives when the noise finally stops, in practical sense, it may be time for you for a digital detox. In a spiritual sense, it is time to be ready to receive your mentor, a guru, one who dispels darkness, one who shows the way. A sentiment which is beautifully captured by the Zen saying, when the disciple is ready, the master appears. And your journal prompt for the hermit? If I stopped asking everyone else for the advice, what do I already know to be true about this situation? Card 10, the Wheel of Fortune. And now everything turns. The wheel reminds the fool of the notion we often take for granted. Change is the only constant. The ebb and the flow of tides, the waxing and the waning of the moons, the joy and the sorrows of the human life. Life moves in cycles, always. What rises eventually falls. What falls eventually rises again. Nothing remains static forever. And honestly, that can feel terrifying or possibly liberating, depending upon where you currently stand. Now, the wheel teaches surrender to the movement. The wheel turns not to punish us, but to teach us. And here is the thing, you cannot stop the wheel, can you? But you can learn to ride it with grace rather than clinging to any one position in terror. When the wheel appears, something is shifting. And that shift, my dear, no matter how it feels, is serving your highest good. Now, before we move on, the journal prompt for you for the Wheel of Fortune: what change am I resisting now, and how might my life improve if I trusted the cycle instead of fighting it? Card 11, Justice. The scales, the sword, the crown. Now, justice is not cold, my dear, as it may appear to be. Justice is precise. This card strips away all the illusions and asks, what is actually true here? Not emotionally, not convenient truths, not performative truths, not the partial truth. The truth in its barest form. Justice is accountability. This is a card of karmic truth. The person that we can really be honest with is ourselves. The card invites balance between actions, consequences, integrity, and self awareness. Justice says, what is it out of alignment with your truth, with your choices, with your values, that will be brought into balance. Now, in a reading, justice is not simply about legalities or judgment from the outside. Yes, it can mean those very things, but on a deeper level, it is a call to examine yourself with the same clarity and compassion that you would offer anyone that you truly love. Now, for your general prompt for justice, where is that gap between what I say and what I value and how I am actually behaving? So, the justice calls you to identify that gap and bridge it to live your fullest life. Card 12, the Hanged Man. Now, one of the most misunderstood cards in the tarot is the Hanged Man. People see this card and immediately think, stuck, delayed, punished. But look more closely. The Hanged Man is not struggling, is he? He hangs there willingly by choice, and his face peaceful, illuminated. The Hanged Man teaches a truth modern culture deeply resists. Not all progress looks like movement. Sometimes the breakthrough comes from surrender, possibly sacrifice. Sometimes wisdom only arrives when we stop trying to control everything. The Hanged Man is a great pause. There is no more pushing that envelope. He is the moment when the only way forward is to stop trying to move forward. Because sometimes, my dear, the breakthrough does not come from pushing harder. It comes from hanging still long enough to see the world from a different perspective. And honestly, my dear, some of the greatest transformations in life happen in stillness. Before we move on, here is your journal prompt. What situation am I trying to force forward? And what might I learn if I allowed myself to pause instead? Card 13, Death. And yes, this is the card everyone fears. But let me say this very clearly. In over 12 years and more than 50,000 sessions, I have rarely seen this card predict literal physical death. Rarely. Death in tarot is transformation. It is endings. It is release, transition, necessary closure. The death card says something has completed its purpose. Now, think of it as winter. Spring does arrive, no matter how long the winter is. The earth does not fear winter, my dear, does it? It understands renewal, it requires release. And honestly, holding on to expired versions of our life often hurts far more than letting go. You have been there and done that, right? So have I. Now, death says something in your life has run its full course. It takes a lot more courage to let something go, my dear, than to just hold on to it. When one door closes, only then the new one can really open. Now, as you draw the death card, here is your journal prompt. What has completed its purpose in my life, yet I continue to hold on to that out of habit, fear, or familiarity? And will it serve my higher purpose and goal if I truly let go to facilitate renewal? Card 14, the Temperance. The phase 2 closes with one of the most beautiful cards in the tarot, the Temperance. An angel stands with one foot on land and the other in water, pouring liquid between the two cups in one continuous flow. Exchange. No force, no panic, no extremes, just balance. A beautiful alchemy. Temperance is a spiritual alchemy, the blending of opposites. The ability to integrate everything you have has survived into this wisdom rather than bitterness. And honestly, that is healing. After the intensity of the hanged man and the death, Temperance arrives and says, now integrate, now breathe, now blend what you have learned into the new version of yourself that is emerging. It is the art of taking everything, embracing everything, the good, the painful, the confusing, and finding the precise balance that creates something greater than the sum of its parts. Now, here is your journal prompt for Temperance. Which two parts of my life currently feel out of balance, and what small adjustments would create greater harmony between them? And that concludes the phase 2 of the inner work. It isn't always as easy path, is it? For the fool and the fool in you, me and us, my dear. You have faced intensity, you have embraced the endings, and you are beginning to integrate those lessons into your spirit. And while you have found your balance in Temperance, the journey isn't over. In fact, it is far from over because everything you have learned here has been preparing you for that one final peak. Because the Fool's journey is not simply about discovering the world, and it is not simply about discovering yourself. It is about transformation. And that is exactly where we are headed next. In part 3, we enter the great transformation. This is where the shadow finally meets the light, where the tower must fall so that we can reach the world. It is the most powerful conclusion to the story, and you are finally ready for it. Now, if you have missed part 1, click on the video right here or here on your screen and begin from the very beginning. And if you're ready for the final chapter, join me in part 3. I'll see you there, my dear. Until then, work with these prompts. Reflect, embrace, and imbibe on these messages to keep walking the Fool's journey from one milestone to another. I will see you in the next phase. Love and light, Chandra.